how to control Facebook ads frequency. Now, when you're running ads on Facebook, it's very important for you to understand your frequency control. First thing first, for your top of funnel campaign, you want to make sure that your frequency is controlled at below 2. Now, when I say below 2, that means within 7 or 14 days, as long as your frequency is below 2, it's actually ideal. But before that, we probably want to understand what is frequency, right? Now, frequency is really the number of times your audience have seen your ad within the specific period of time. So the ideal situation is 7 days below 2, because the idea is, especially for top of funnel that we are talking about, top of funnel campaigns are supposed to help us reach new audiences. If the frequency is too high, that means our ads, our campaign, our budget are being locked on a bunch of people who have seen it multiple times. They probably have taken action, they probably have not, but because Facebook believe that they are more likely to take action, they locked on them already. So high frequency for top of funnel campaign is not ideal. But on the other hand, if you are running a retargeting campaign, we should tolerate higher frequency. Like for example, averagely for an e-commerce campaign, we usually want to go, let's say if we do a 7 days retargeting, we want to achieve at least 3 and above frequency, but below 5. The idea is, for e-commerce, it's always about urgency. It's always about when they are interested in your product, you want to appear as many times as possible in front of them to remind them about your product, to remind them about the purchase intent and all. So it's really about, like reaching them as many times as possible within this, let's say 7 days period to make sure they convert. So for retargeting, we always, aim for a higher frequency because that's important for us to make the conversion. So how do we really control frequency now? Very simple. For top of funnel, the easiest way and the most effective way to control frequency is to apply exclusion. Meaning when you're running ads, you want to consider excluding people who have recently engaged with your ad, click on your website, click on the link, or landed on your website, or even people who have purchased. So these are the people that they have seen your ad, they have interacted with your ad, they have actually kind of purchased, they have went further down the customer journey. They shouldn't be seeing the same ad, if you get what I mean. Okay, because they have interacted with it. Because it's very, very unlikely for a person who have interacted with an ad to do it again. Because they believe, first I've seen it, I've taken action. Now, yes, if you want to say that, my product might require a little bit of more visits and all that, then you remember you have a retargeting ad. So when you're running ads, this all comes back to the strategy, right? We will always have a top of funnel campaign and the retargeting campaign running simultaneously. So the top of funnel campaign is always about reaching new people, bringing in new people. And the retargeting is about converting those people with multiple and repetitive, with more convincing ads and stuff like that. So for the top of funnel, exclusion is the key to really bring down the so-called the frequency. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to retargeting, as we aim for higher frequency, but there are certain times you might reach too high a frequency. For example, if you are aiming for 3 to 5, but for 7 days, your frequency has gone up to maybe 10. Now, there are a few things that you can do to actually reduce frequency. First, to actually apply more lenient retargeting. So instead of targeting people who visited your website, for example, if you want to target people who added to cart, for example, then maybe because your add to cart number is not that big, that's why you are actually showing ads to a very little, small amount of people. So that's the reason why the frequency is high. So consider reducing the retargeting restriction. Instead of going for add to cart, target people who landed on your website. So that will give you bigger audience size, which will effectively increase your, decrease your frequency to a more nominal, a kind of like well-controlled kind of frequency. Or you can even move down further to target people who have interacted with your ad, which give you a bigger portion of people, a bigger audience size, which is effective in bringing down the frequency. So these are the few things that you can do in terms of controlling your frequency for your top of funnel and retargeting campaign. But I always want you to remember one thing. Sometimes it's more important to actually look at the overall performance of the campaign instead of locking into one specific metric. Some people likes to get, I'm not saying that it's you, but I've seen too many people obsessed with one single few metrics, and they forgot to look at the whole big picture. Like for example, I always have a client, back then it was a student who actually learned with me before. Every time I do a live sessions like this, you always come back and ask me the same question. How do I bring down the CPM? How do I bring down the CPM? Because he always believed that bringing down the CPM is going to give him better result. But in my opinion, it's not the case, because I may have a very low CPM, but if I bring the wrong people into the funnel, the whole thing is not going to work. So in order to get lower CPM, it's actually very simple. Target more people, or go for more lenient objectives such as engagement and all that, because there are more people who are likely to do the same thing. And usually you can reach more people with lower CPM, but you are not going to get the quality of people that you want that may convert in your business. So CTR as well, sometimes I've seen so many campaigns that we have, like not so satisfying so-called CTR, but it still performs. So when it comes to frequency, it's the same. Okay, certain times, yeah, because of the campaign structure, because of the setup and all that, there are many reasons that affects your frequency and your campaign performance. So as long as the overall campaign is performing, we really want to look at what is making it perform and how can we take it further. And if the campaign is not performing, do not blame the frequency as well. Try to find out what's really happening in your campaign and fix the right problem. Because in my opinion, it's very simple. Whether we have a good campaign or bad campaign, we always need to know why. Otherwise, we'll be making wrong, so-called making decisions based on gut feeling. If you have a good campaign, I want to know why. Otherwise, I won't be able to scale effectively. I don't know what's working. Now, on the other hand, if I have a failed campaign, I want to know why, because I want to avoid making the same mistake in the future. So if you are running ads and you really want to master the analytical part of it, and you want to know what's working and not working in your campaign and how can you optimize it, I would invite you to actually scan this QR code to have a 30-minute discussion with me. Of course, you got to buy me a dinner on this one as well. So all you need to do is, just scan this QR code and you are able to book a 30-minute with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into your campaign via a Zoom call. So this is going to be a Zoom's one-on-one sharing and all that. Please make sure that you are joining via the native Zoom app so that we can actually do screen control and all. It's a lot easier for me to navigate on my end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build you a dashboard for your campaign, because every business is unique, right? I'll build you a dashboard according to all the metrics that you need. From there, you'll be able to see crystal clear what's working and what's not working, what the connection between the metrics and all that, which I'll explain to you. And I'll also help you build a plan, because once we analyze the campaign, we'll be able to know what's working and what's not working. And from there, we are able to build a plan on optimization, as in okay, now if the CTR is not working, let's fix the creative and test different things from here and there. And if it's the frequency that is affecting the campaign, let's apply certain things here and there to try to bring the frequency down, or even to push the frequency as the retargeting, which is important that we need to have a higher frequency and all that. So you have a better understanding about your overall campaign, and we are able to have a plan to help you improve your campaign performance. So if that's what you want, scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you.